What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be doing a tier list on gym tools. By the way, if you don't know us, my name is Josko and this is Brandon. We're gym owners here in Burnaby, which is near Vancouver in Canada. And the way that we have this set up is we don't really know what the tools are. We're just going to have somebody off camera right now hand it to us, and then we're just going to decide where to put it. So these are going to be very common things that you see in the gym. So let's see the first one. Okay, very first one, we have these they're like heel lifts, heel wedges, heel raisers, that's what people call them. And I think that these are actually very useful. Brandon, do you think these are useful?
I think these are very, very useful, especially for people who don't have mobility through their ankles and they want to get really good depth in their squats. Awesome.
So I think they're good because then you don't have to buy like squat shoes. These cost like, I think anywhere between like 20 to 40 bucks on Amazon. And you can just drop them down on the ground. A lot of people in gyms that when we see them, they like try to put their heels on plates, which isn't obviously ideal. These are way better for you. And so yeah, I think that I want to put this up pretty high.
A?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna put it on S tier, but I'll put it on A tier. I agree with that. So A tier, definitely the heel wedges, so you don't have to buy like Olympic weightlifting shoes. All right, so next one, what do we got? So we got the cheap rubber bands here, the bands for your glutes. They call them booty bands, I guess.
Bands almost, the loop bands.
Yeah, so I think that there is use to these. Honestly, I just don't think they're that great. And these ones, like, they're usually really cheap and crappy. And there's only like a few mobility exercises that I would typically do with these. But what about you?
Yeah, they're pretty niche. I actually prefer the ones that are more fabric rather than the actual rubber ones.
Exactly.
For most exercises. But these are going to be used for warming up your shoulders sometimes, maybe your hips. But to be honest, it's not going to get as much use as other things maybe in this list.
And honestly, even at the heaviest setting on these, I guess, but the hardest ones are typically not even that hard. So you can easily work your way up within a few months, like using the heaviest band. So honestly, I'm gonna put them on D tier.
D, okay, yeah, D or C? Let's see, there are some uses.
I'm leaning more towards D. We could put it in between C and D.
CD.
Is that even allowed?
Sure.
All right, we'll get the next one in. So the next one is knee sleeves. So here's the thing. There's two types of people that wear knee sleeves. There's powerlifters that are coming to the gym, and then there's also just people that like have a bum knee and they think that this is gonna help them through their squats. So with the powerlifters, I think knee sleeves are great. That would probably go on S tier. But for like the regular gym person, I think that these are kind of pointless.
Yeah, like if you're using it for injury prevention, it's not really going to do that if you're just a regular gym goer. It might help you warm up your knees a little bit, but other than that, it's not going to prevent you from like totally catastrophically injuring your knee during a squat or a deadlift.
And honestly, it doesn't even make you that much stronger. When you're powerlifting, yes, it does. They usually have their knee sleeves on really, really tight, like they could barely get them on. And in that case, like, yes, you're lifting more weight, but however, it's the knee sleeves that are allowing you to do it. So you're technically not even that much stronger. So,
C.
D.
You're gonna rate everything D in this list.
I don't like them.
All right.
I think that they're pointless. I think it's just waste money. Do you, yeah?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a powerlifter, I think they're great, but that's not who this video is targeting. All right, so next one we got hip thrust pad. So obviously these are great because then you could do hip thrusts. Otherwise, you're just gonna have a cold, hard bar on your...
Well, most people use it for squatting.
Yeah, okay, so that's actually a good point. If you're using this for squatting, this definitely goes down to D tier.
Yeah.
Because this is gonna cause your bar to be imbalanced on your back, and you're not gonna be able to lift that much weight. It even has risks of it sliding off your back. So definitely these, if you're using them for squatting, D tier. But if you were to bring these in a gym, like in your bag to use for hip thrusts, S tier.
Yeah.
Because you can't do hip thrust, otherwise you can't do hip thrusts without them.
Don't use them the way that they're actually designed to be built for.
Yeah, they were built for squats. Don't use them for squats. Okay, next one is pull-up bands. That's what people call them. They also call them resistance bands, I guess.
Long loop bands.
Yeah, long loop bands. There's tons of names for them. I think most people are calling them pull-up bands these days because that's what most people are using them for. So I think these are great, and I think it is useful to have these inside your gym bag. I have them inside my gym bag. I think would go into A tier because on like A or S, I honestly think these are great because you can also do like stretching with them and other exercises. So I would put them on A or S.
Especially if you are working up to doing a pull-up for the first time, this is the only way to really do it well.
Or if you can do 5 pull-ups, 5 regular pull-ups, and you could do 10 pull-ups with the purple band, then great.
Exactly,
You know?
and then you progress to the next one, and then before you know it, you're lessening that band resistance, and you're getting to do them unassisted. So let's go A. we gotta save some special things for S.
I don't know how many more things we have. All right, next up is foam rollers. So I personally think foam rollers are completely worthless. There's like nothing I would ever use a foam roller for. They're like a lot of people are using them incorrectly. A lot of people think that it's going to solve mobility issues when in fact it does not solve any issues. Mobility issues permanently. It almost just opens up a small window for you to be able to work within after you, let's say, roll out your tight hip flexors. But your hip flexors are still going to stay tight despite you using a foam roller. So I honestly would put this on D tier. I hate foam rollers, but...
You know what's funny about this one? Just kind of like this. It's like the most useful things for a foam roller are not what it's actually designed to do.
Yeah.
Like you can use them for specific exercises like a foam roll bridge or stabilizing one piece of your body, doing a hip hinge, etc., or thread the needle kind of exercises. Not exactly what they were designed to do to actually release myofascia. So,
and with those kind of exercises, like you could just use something else too. Like the foam roller is just convenient because it's in the gym, but you don't even need to use it.
Because everyone has one collecting dust in the corner.
Yeah.
Or sitting under something.
So honestly, I would put them on D tier.
Sure.
Okay, it's going on D tier.
There's nothing going to be in the middle. Just,
yeah.
We're very polarizing.
Yeah.
S or D. Nothing in between.
What do we got next? Okay, so now we got hip thrust bands.
Oh, these are the ones I was talking about.
These are the fabric.
There we go.
Hip thrust bands. So honestly, these are actually way more useful. They don't slide around. They last way longer. They're also much stronger. The higher end resistance on these is actually hard. So like these ones, I would put them in like a B.
All right, let's get something in the middle here.
Yeah. But yeah, these ones really good to have in your gym bag. Super, super useful. But
is this the last one?
Yeah. Okay, and then so we also have. This is the last one? Yeah, so this is the last one. We also have, these are straps for lifting, and I have these in my gym bag, so I think they're really useful. I use them specifically for any kind of pulling exercise, so I can just not use the forearms and the biceps too much, so I can just focus on my back. So that's why I have them, and I really like them. So I would put these on S tier.
I think so too. I think with these lifting straps, some people will make fun of you being like, oh, if you can't deadlift that weight with your hands, you shouldn't be deadlifting it at all. That's not true. There's going to be a point where maybe you have certain injuries that limit you from picking it up with your hands, but your hips and your back are improving at a much faster rate than what your grip is. So this allows you to continue to train the bigger parts of your body while not being limited by your hands or your wrists.
Yeah. Typically, like when I'm doing like a row, I can get maybe, let's say, 8 reps without these, and then I can get 10 reps with these, and that's obviously going to come mostly from my back. So that's why I like them. I don't want my biceps or my forearms to give in before my back. So
just go do some bicep or forearm exercises after.
Exactly. So I'm going to put this one on S tier. And so yeah, if you're looking for fitness equipment to purchase to put inside your bag, now you know which ones are most worth it, and which ones you shouldn't get. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you like this one, leave us a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.